Hi friends, it's Tilly, and I can't remember the last time something went this smoothly. It went so smoothly, I didn't film part of it because I thought it would just be a learning experience. Which is exciting because with all of these things I have left to do, I'm feeling the D23 con crunch already, and we're nearly 60 days out. And then it's spooky time, so subscribe for all the upcoming costume shenanigans. But let's get started on the Evil Queen collar. The collar from the show is similar to the movie with multiple points and sides. It looks like it ends around eye height, around to the back of the crown, and tucks under the dress and cape. I was also very aware that cons are different from a show where she never comes in contact with people, therefore I wanted to make it a bit more structural. It would need to survive both the packing in a suitcase and getting jostled in a crowded convention floor. That being said, for the structure I went with 1mm EVA foam, flexible boning, 12 gauge aluminum wire, and Grosgrain ribbon for the wire casing. For the fabric, I used a white textured satin, black cotton lining, the same I used in the dress, and Fusible Interfacing. Right now the plan is to attach it to the dress with snaps, but all the finishing details will be in their own video as I navigate towards the end how it will all come together, so the interfacing will help stabilize everything. With all the materials, I started to draft the pattern. I first started with the bodice pattern and some craft paper. I traced the collar of the pattern for the front and the back bodice pieces, lining up at the shoulder. I made a half pattern ending around 1.5 inches from center front. I estimated the shape I wanted before tracing it onto some muslin and adding some EVA foam to understand the shape. I learned a few things from this pattern. It looked like one of those giant lizards with the collar. What are those things called? Frilled lizards? So I both trimmed down the height and made the top a uniform, slightly curved shape with my hip curve. Second is there was too much volume. It looked more like a flat collar than a standing collar, and it was really big. So I pinched out some of the material and altered the pattern by slashing and pivoting to make a new one. Once I thought I had something that would work, I cut it out of the EVA foam. From there, I started to stitch the boning to the EVA foam. I was really nervous about putting this through my machine, but it worked amazingly, and the curved boning really helped create the shape. After that, I added the wire channel to the top by flat stitching in the grosgrain. Then I tucked one end under and stitched it down. Then I added the wire, making sure to bend the ends so it wouldn't burst through the case. Then I tucked in the second side and stitched it closed. The sides I ended up wrapping around the front edges and stitching down. This worked better than expected, and you could also do this for the top for more control of the movement of the collar. With the interior complete, I moved to the satin cover. I started by tracing the structure of the collar as a first draft pattern and stitched it together. I also traced the bodice pattern again and created a base for the collar to sit on about 4 inches wide. I did a second pattern that had multiple pieces in order to reduce the volume in the middle. Sewing it together and seeing how it fit, I realized that it was bubbling quite a bit compared to the side that was more fitted. I ultimately decided that I did not mind the multiple panels because I preferred the closer fit to the interior structure. I used the same pattern for both sides of the collar. I cut out the pieces in the white satin and the lowest part of the collar in the black cotton, as well as the interfacing. Next, I overlocked all the pieces. Then I stitched together all the panels and attached the standing collar at the side seams. Next, I ironed flat all the seams. Next, I stitched the side seams of the lower collar together. I then ironed on the interfacing because I forgot to do that before I stitched it together. In order to put it all together, I started with the collar facing right side up. I placed the standing collar on top and sandwiched it into the rest of the lower collar. Then I stitched through all the layers of the neckline. Next, I wrestled the collar into the sleeve and checked to make sure I was happy with it. Last, I hand stitched the collar closed at the top. And now, here's the final result. I'm fairly impressed with myself on this one. I think after how long the sequin dress took and how many mock-ups I did of the hood, I was fearful it would take a long time, but it only took 4 days. And I was not consistently working on it in that time frame. It's not perfect, and I think I would change a few things around how the collar sits and see if I can make the pattern into one solid fabric piece like the parts do, but overall I'm really happy with it. Hopefully you found it helpful, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Also, check out the first 3 parts of the Making the Evil Queen series if you haven't seen them. I'll link them down below. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and here are my socials if you want to follow or show me your amazing work. We'll see you next time.